All right.
Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel. This is one that they made.
Oh, you.
Also a William Schappert.
It's, you know.
I am William. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our
Whiskey.
Few. Why have I heard of few?
They are up in Illinois.
Continue.
Evanston, Illinois.
Yes. Ooh.
This is a guy who started out as an engineer, a patent attorney, and then a rock and roll musician.
Okay.
And was like, I'm gonna go to whiskey now.
It's covering all the bases.
Yeah. But here's the cool thing. He spent like a decade helping getting the laws changed so he could open a distillery in Illinois.
I forgot the S.
Illinois. Yeah, sorry. Illinois. And anyway, so they're making their own stuff. This is their rye. It's 70% rye, 20 corn, 10 malted barley.
I like how it's a spicy sweetness for me. Is that a spicy herbal sweetness? What is this?
I see what you're calling spice, but I'm not...
It's like a rice spice herbal mixed with some type of weird farmer's market hard candy.
Yeah, it's...
Is that a ginger?
It might be ginger, because it's reminding me of really craft root beers.
Yeah.
Where you've got the ginger note in some of them.
Yeah.
Not quite licorice.
Okay.
But...
Yeah. That's directionally getting there. A kind of a crafty root beer a little bit.
Very dry in the nose.
Uh-huh.
Now, they use a yeast in this one, supposedly, that's typically used for Saison. Like the Saison beer that we distilled ages ago.
Yeah. Not my favorite category of beer, but it was just the yeast. All right, I'm going in, because this is...
I'm not getting anything else that's buried.
Yeah. At the same time, this is unique, but it's not a tremendous flavor stack. There's not a lot of layers going on. So this is different. This is not something I put in a glass every day.
46.5, once again. Oh, there it is. Dry. There's a dryness, but it's surrounded by molasses. And this tastes strangely closer to the Black Butte whiskey.
Well,
in that dark, almost chocolatey sweetness, but bitter.
I would say yes, but less of a full body, rich, desserty quality.
Thinner.
And more of, again, I want to say it's threatening to get a little bit herbal. Herbal, yeah. And it's threatening to be like a rye herbal note, but it's not quite doing it.
Yeah, even though it is a rye. That's a unique one, and that doesn't play anywhere in the ballpark of your generic ryes, MGP, or generic anything. It does its own thing. I like it.
I do too.
I don't, because it doesn't hit down the home plate of the ryes I prefer.
Right.
This is more of a rye lover's rye, I feel like. Like, I think real rye drinkers would appreciate this spin on it.
All right, so point of clarification. A rye lover's rye, but like the stereotypical rye that has been popularized by the MGP rye.
Right, not that.
It's not that.
No, this is like, if it was a band, it's King's X.
Okay.
Which is like really obscure, but all the musicians know who it is.
Yeah.
Right. This is...
That was really interesting. It is a dry, spicy, herbal character, but it's not the rye spice that I think of whenever I say rye spice on any other rye. There is a different angle in the spice. It's kind of like the difference between there's hundreds of different kinds of curries, I think. But, you go to a place and they have 6 on the menu. And then one day you go to a different restaurant and you try a curry. It's like, wait a minute. This is not like the half dozen curries.
How do I get that again?
Yeah. This is not the half dozen curries I've been used to. That I've had dozens of times. This is still recognizably a curry, but it's a totally different angle.
With the water added, all the fruit jumps out.
Did you put water in
I put water in yours like a fruit bowl. Behind all of those same notes, there's this little fruit explosion.
Yeah.
In the nose, anyway.
I think if you're exploring, right, that's definitely a unique and well executed rye that's doing different things than I think I've had in other ryes.
And it changes with water enough to warrant more water exploration.
Yeah.
And would warrant an interesting barrel cask comparison.
All right, I'm going to give it a minute with the water added. Uncle Mikey's World. So what is the secret to making a higher proof alcohol that actually tastes like a lower proof on the palate? Referring specifically to the ethanol ding.
So I'm gonna venture what I would do. First, I would use some of the heavier flavored grains like barley.
Yeah.
Second, I would pot still it
Yeah.
to hold on all the flavor compounds I could get my hands on. I'd be very careful about the fermentation so that I didn't have to distill anything bad out of the fermentations or try to do a narrower cut. So I'd be very careful with the fermentation to get the big, rich flavors already. Then I would try to keep as much of them as I could in the pot still.
Yeah.
And then I would try to keep it in the barrel for long enough that the new breakdowns and chemical components sort of contribute to all the richness of the flavor.
Yeah.
And I would hope.
And in a hot climate, you're looking at a big barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would hope at that point that at least a full size, maybe bigger.
Yeah.
Or 53 is what I mean by full size. And then I would see, because there's a very real chance, basically I've experienced more malt whiskeys at high proof holding up to not being burny than I have bourbons at high proof holding up to not being burny.
Yeah. Now, if you approach the question, he's talking about the making, but if we approach it from the different angle of, well, if you're trying to taste whiskey that's a higher proof and you're trying to make it smoother, the way that you first experience that whiskey, if you're able to hold it in your mouth, move it around a bit, don't swish it aggressively, but just let that alcohol just take hold, just let it happen. And then from that point on, your body is more acclimated to that ethanol ding.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, the subsequent sips are going to be a little bit smoother for you.
Yeah, just be gentle with it.
Curtis Hoffman, I want to blow away my friends someday. That's really violent. Wow. I mean, when we say here's to fighting,
Yeah,
he's really
that's
took
a
that.
whole different thing.
How difficult and expensive is it to buy a barrel from MGP?
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
it's
you have to do
it's
that.
not that expensive.
You have to do that through.
Yeah, but you can't do it without a distillery license. So highly prohibitive for a normal Yahoo to do it unless you can find a local craft distillery willing to source a barrel for you with a reasonably low markup.
What could be fun, a lot of distilleries, I don't know if MGP does it, they may be too big, but a lot of distilleries will have people come in and do barrel picks. And what are barrel picks?
Barrel picks is when you show up and you get to try a selection of 5, 6 barrels that they have, and then choose the one you like, and they'll bottle that one as a single barrel release just for you. But other people are even sourcing for that. Like we are at Crowded Barrel, are providing opportunities for people to create whatever they want, even if it means we have to go get it.
Yeah.
And we don't have it. So there are other craft distilleries willing to do that.
I'd like, if you give her a minute, there's the sweet character that finally gets teased out.
In the nose?
Oh, and the taste. I'm finding more sweetness.
Yeah, after it rested with the water, it ends up in the aftertaste of root beer, that sweet sugar layer.
Yeah, and now with the water and with the resting, this is getting more recognizably what I expect from rye.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, dig it.
Yeah, it's nice. Here's the fighting, stealing it.
If you fight me, fight for free.
We steal me, you steal your liver. Sorry.
And if you drink,
May
you drink with us.